Hi, lovies! Welcome to our special episode of Adulting 101 with Je and Athan. We always make a tally of everything. Like a tally of everything. It is being monitored and listed in this notebook. Everything. Okay, sometimes magud he will ask na, where is this money? How did you spend it? Where is this income?
Good.
Nee. So fasten your seatbelt as we are about to get to know Je and Athan. In 3, 2, 1.
Taking a chance.
So in today's episode, we will be talking about how we save money and tips on what to avoid when dealing with money. Last week, we had a poll in our Facebook and Instagram accounts, and we asked you on what would be the content in our YouTube channel. And mostly the requested is about how we save money or about financial thing. So today we are granting that request. So we have gathered all the questions about financial or about saving money or tips on how to save money, and we will answer them one by one. So let's start. First question. Tips on how to save. Just sharing to you our past experiences when we were still single. No, so we will share first on how we saved when we were not yet married. So who will start?
Ikaw ako.
Okay.
Okay,
so
you start first.
Okay, so I will start. Before, I really list all the things that are my expenses. So, like the income from my salary, I put it in a notebook. So, I always have my notebook of my financial obligations and all the income that I will be receiving from my mini business and from the salary or from the allowance. And then I also list all the expenses and all the things that I need to pay. So that's first tip. You have to really budget the money that you have. Second is I always make sure that I don't overspend. So like for example, my salary is 12,000, then my expenses or the things that I need to pay should not over exceed the 12,000, considering that I also have money for the savings. So somewhat your budgeting should be like 50% for all the necessities, 30% for leisure, and 20% for the savings, like your savings that you will not really touch it unless it's emergency. We're laughing. Okay. Sige. So those are the two tips no, and then later on we'll just summarize it and then we'll add more based on your questions. Okay, so when you were still single, how did you save money?
When I was still single, how did I save money? I have a lot of ways to save money, no? Kay, I did not have that much personal expenses because I was still living, and I am still living in my parents' house, so I did not have much expenses for like personal, like food, electricity, rent, so I didn't have that. But when I was in, for example, let's just, let me start in college na lang. College kay, ngadto man no, most of you, siguro, on your college days, kay namoy allowance. So what I do with my allowances, for example, I have an allowance of, let's just say an example of a week, I have 1,500. I think that's already big, no? So over the week, I would only put 500 pesos on my wallet, and I would keep the 1,000 inside piggy bank or alcancía. Then from there, that is what I am going to spend for the week. So why do I do that? It's to mentally prepare yourself or to put you in a situation igtanaw nimo when you look at your wallet, you only have 500 to spend. No, so the tendency in my case, I'm not saying no that this will apply to everyone, but in my case, when I look at my wallet and I know that this is the money that I have, then unconsciously magtipid sa go, like dili ko mapugos bitaw nga dili ko magkumpiyansa na lang ang word kay nabitaw ko 1,000 pa diri, okay ra. Tagalog ni my mindset will not be like this since I still have 1,000 here, it's okay to overspend the 500 or go beyond the 500 money or the amount of 500. So when I only see that the amount that my wallet has is only 500, so I'll try to contain myself from spending under 500. That's just an example. That's for me in college. Yeah. Later on, after I started working and for example, in my salary, for the salaries, as Miss Je has told you, or as Je has told you, she has to budget it for personal expenses, and I've told you that for me, it does not apply for me because I did not have any personal expenses in terms of food or rent or light or electricity. So what I do is, for example, just an example, theoretically, if like my salary is, in a month, you receive twice the payday, you have 2 paydays in a month. What I do is, the first payday, that's what I'm going to use for 2 months expenses or a month's expenses. That depends on what or how much I spend on that salary. For me, there are 2 ways good to save. It's either you save first, so you get the amount,
or you spend first.
You spend first. So if you are the type that you have a difficulty in controlling your spending, then I would suggest you save first. So saving first means, like, if you have this a certain amount, you deduct how much you want to save.
The percentage.
Then, the percentage of how much you want to save. Let's just say you have a salary of like 100,000 and you want to save 70% of that. So you have to put aside the 70,000. And what you are going to control you are going to use the 30,000 for your spending na. And if you are the type na you are really, like I say, you are confident that you can control your spending, so you can do the spend first, right? Okay. For example, the spend first can also apply to those people na dili sure, or those people who are not sure what expenses they have, and they don't want to put categories on their savings or like differentiations of their saving or their amount of money. So spend first will apply to those people who has like a spending habit or personal needs that are how do I say this, not scheduled, like sudden expenses ba. So that will apply to you. But just make sure, in this case, this is dangerous. Why? Because sometimes, because you spend first, then save later, there's a tendency that your savings will sometimes be smaller, sometimes be bigger. It will not be fixed.
It's not consistent sometimes.
Pero in a way, you can still save. As long as you keep it in mind that you are saving. No. But if you are in a luxury type, if you have the luxury bitaw na to control or to dictate how much you want to save or how fast you want your savings to grow, then I strongly suggest that you do the save first. Okay? Another method I also do is, for example, in my wallet, I have the 1,000 peso bill, 500 peso bill, 100, 120, 50, and like that. So what I usually do is, I usually spend first the 50, the 20s, and the hundreds before I spend the thousands or 500s. Why? It's already in my mindset ba na if I pull out a 1,000, I don't want it to become change. I don't want it to be like smaller bills. I want it to be like a whole 1,000. So when I look at my wallet, oh, I don't have any more smaller bills. I don't want to spend anymore. Actually, savings is more of a mental state. Like, you condition yourself not to spend this money because you want to not spend it.
Like you set limitations and
Yes.
control.
Yeah, control. Just control in a way that you're not buying things that you don't need. Okay? Because yes, we are talking about how to save, but every person has a different situation, right? So there will be people who will look at this video. Maybe it's you, or maybe it's another person, that your salary or the money you have right now or you're receiving right now is just enough. Do not be sad na you cannot save. Don't use it as a reason that you cannot save. Think of it as a motivation, right? If the money you have right now is just enough for your expenses, find a way to increase that money before saving, right? A 5 peso or a 1 peso a day can go a long way. That's what I think. Like you said, even if you save 1 peso a day, in a month you have at least 28 pesos.
Peso
Yeah.
challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. In 2 months you have already 50. And no matter, because when I was a student, like for example, high school, what I save is the change I have every day. And by the time I notice, I already have 2,000 pesos. That's another way of saving also. So actually, there's no reason that you cannot save. Okay, even if you're really having a financial problem, no, I would strongly suggest that even if you are in struggle of money right now, find a way na you can put even like 20 pesos. Ano. And for those who are not yet struggling, prepare yourself for the worst case scenario. We don't know what happens in life. So it's always like what my mother always says to me, no, it's always good to save a penny for a rainy day. There was a time that I lost track of my spending. And I didn't know that I was already getting money from the savings that I did. So, yeah. I'm not saying na it cannot happen to everyone. I'm saying it will happen. There's a tendency that anyone can go overspend, even if you are trying to. Even if you're financially illiterate, no, if you are not careful, it may happen to you also or anyone. So just be careful.
Yes.
So my tips for to summarize it up, no. Tips for saving. There's no reason that you can't save. A peso a day can go a long way. And yeah, even if let's just say you save very small, but if you are, like I always say, no, the grades you get in school will only give you a push, but it will not determine your success. For me, what will determine your success is your discard in life, the way,
The guts.
the guts, the grit, no, the way how you handle things, no. So even if you start with a small capital, it's a matter of how it's how you handle it, how you move your money, how you handle yourself, how you control your spending. That's what determines how you succeed in life. That's for me, and that will determine your financial stability.
Okay. So in contrary, when I was in college, I was very independent. So I don't rely anymore to the allowances my parents would give me. I do not rely on the allowances that my family, my sister, or my brother would give me because I pay my own bills. So for those of you who are paying their own bills, like rent for their apartment, for their boarding house, or
Food.
yeah, for the food, yes, for the food, for anything, no, anything like mga
Clothes.
necessities, except
Shampoo.
for the clothes, because clothes are already like a part of your wants. Okay, so like mga shampoo, mga sabon, what else? All the mga Colgate, mga like that, no, everything. I buy everything. So this is the reality. When I was working already, I started with a salary of 18,000. In that 18,000, I 18 or 15, I forgot.
Theoretical. Ano?
Okay, it's around basta 15 to 18,000. I started with that salary. So, since I was so independent and that I don't rely anymore into the allowances and I don't ask for money from my family, then I reached the point that I already had a hard time budgeting. Because the 15 or the 18,000, I will deduct the dormitory rental. I will deduct my allowance per day for food in school because I was a teacher, and I buy the breakfast, the lunch, and the dinner, like everything. And then third is I always spend for the transportation from my dormitory going to the institution that I was working in for the previous years. And aside from that, I also have to buy for other necessities like shampoo, Colgate, soap, and other things. So what would be left is around 3,000 or 5,000 a month. And then I really want to give a money or a portion of my salary to my family. Like, because I was in the state that I want to pay back to my parents that time. So, I always give a very small amount na lang jud, like 2,000 or 3,000 to my parents because wala na, I already spent it with my dormitory fees and all the things that I mentioned earlier. So what's left to me is already around 2,000, and I think na, oh my god, I cannot grow with this amount left in my wallet. I cannot buy the things that I want. I cannot buy a new clothes. I cannot buy the shoes that I want. I cannot go out with my friends to eat in a restaurant or to go to the mall. I cannot go laag. I cannot go gala into somewhere around Cebu City or to outside Cebu City because I don't have money anymore. And then that time, I stopped my business, and that was yours truly or Lady N. I stopped it for like 1 year and a half because I was having a hard time. I was having a hard time juggling with work plus business, and I was still into the adjusting page in my work life. So by there, I have decided that I need to have a side hustle, that I need to have a sideline, that I need to have another source of income. And there, I went back again to Lady N. So imagine there are really many many opportunities na I really need to stop Lady N. But there are always ways. There are always like another opportunity that would knock in because Lady N will always be the way na I can keep track on my finances, so like to help me with my finances. So I will sell clothes to my dorm mates, I will sell clothes to my workmates, I will sell anything because Lady N that time was not about clothes only. It was all about the shoes, all about fashion, everything. I sell bags, shoes, I sell clothes for kids, I sell what else? Basta anything around home nga mga decors. I sell almost everything in that online business, and it really helped me a lot in my financial. And then next is that still a contrary to what he experienced, because again, no, he doesn't have any personal nga mga spending, but me, I have a lot. When I was in Davao, thankfully, I got a promotion, and then I was assigned in Davao, and then my expenses there really grew, and I really make sure na still I could always give back to my parents. And there I started when I was in the second year or third year of my work life. Second year of my work life, I already started to list like a notebook for all my financial expenses. So here, yeah, I'm not mentioning the amount. Here, I like for every payday, like I have 10,000 for the payday. So I always list here my expenses. I always budget monthly because I don't want na mabalik, that I will go back to the situation that I was struggling financially and I did not have any savings. So I list here like for the insurance, for the rent, for the money that I will give to my parents, and then I always tally all the income that I will get and all the expenses, and then the rest of that is
history
for my savings already. So that's how I manage the money. And then for those of you who if you have scrolled on my Instagram or my Facebook page, how did I get the money for all the laag when I go to Manila, when I go to Negros Occidental, when I go to Mati in Mindanao. So I always allot money for the travel expenses. Like aside from having like separation for the rental, aside on money for all the necessities, I always allot money for all the travel expenses, and I always keep track. So I save for like 6 months, and then right after 6 months I count the savings for intended for the travel, and then I check and calculate if this is already enough for another travel. But I do not get money for the savings. So, and then another is I really avoid being in an utang or debt. So it is not good, no, na like for example, your mindset is okay, I have a salary of 20,000. But then the money is not with you yet. And you have an upcoming laag with your friend. So like your friend told you na, "Uy, Je, kuyog na mo, muadto mi og Surigao." Example, muadto mi Surigao. But then you don't have the money yet in your wallet. You don't have that income yet. You don't have that budget yet. And ikaw nga, naabit ko umaabot nga sweldo, mangutang sa ako bi. I will ask a friend first to lend me a money, since I have an upcoming salary or I have an upcoming income. That's a big no. Do not be in debt. Okay, wait for that money to come into your hand, budget, and then make sure that you will not overspend. That make sure that your priority is still all the liabilities, all the necessities, all the needs, and the money that you will give to your parents or to your family, if you are giving a money to your parents or to your family. So that's it. Debt is a big no, no.
Exemption.
Yes, exemption if the debt that you will do will have a return. So no, so there's a return of investment. Like for example, you will loan money because you have a business to venture. You have a yes, a business to venture. But then if you will loan money just for leisure, like laag or like going to a bar or going with friends,
Or
then
spending on something that you want.
yes, spending on something that you want, then avoid it. Okay, avoid that. Okay. So next question. How do you save, and do you put your savings solely in one bank?
I only have one bank.
When I was still working and single, not married yet, I only have one bank. And I also have a cash box. In the cash box, those are the things na I save, and I did not put it in the bank yet. And then in the ATM or in the bank is that is where my salary will be deposited. Okay, so my savings is in the cash box, not in the ATM, because I'll be tempted sometimes. I'll be tempted no if my money is in the bank, because I can just pay debit. So that's why avoid also things that will tempt you to spend. And then always think of what's your priority, what are your goals and dreams, and then work on that. Okay, so what else?
I have 3 cash box. When I was single, kaya I only have one. I have only one bank. But when I started working, so I was able to acquire another bank. That's where the company deposits my salary. So what happens is I have a bank for savings. And at that time I have another bank for the salary. And in my room, I have 3 piggy banks. I don't have a cash box. Piggy bank. So it is the one that looks like a bamboo. The standard one, made of cardboard something. That's the round one, the tube. Yeah. So I have 3 of that actually. So the purpose is, if you're wondering why, the first can, what I place there are coins. The coins that are left over when I buy something. For example, like if I'm going to buy something, then there's a change. So usually there's like 20 pesos, then 5 pesos, then 1 pesos, 1 peso. So I place the coins there. Especially if I place it in my pocket at the end of the day, no, then when I change, then I check my pockets for money. Then I place it there. Put them in separate cans. So I have one can for coins. I have another can for like 20 to 500, 20 to 100. So 20, 50, 100. And the last one is for 500 and 1,000. So that's what I do. And those kinds of money, or that money, I put them there in a condition that at the end of the day, I place them in my pocket. So when I change, if any money is in my pocket, I place it in the cans, respective cans. During the day, if I have my wallet, no, if I did not place it in the wallet at the end of the day, then I put it there. So in a way, it helps me unconsciously save. The only time that I am going to take out those money is that if I gala, if I laag, if I go somewhere. But what I'm going to spend is the 20, the 50s, and the 100s, not the 500s and 1,000. The only time that I would take out the 500 and 1,000 is when I am going to deposit it, or I have an emergency expense, right? But rarely, because I still have money man gyapon in my wallet. And the other part is I have another put, because I have this tendency magod na in every bags I always put tiny amounts of money or random amounts of money man in my bags, in the pocket of my bags. Why? For emergency cases. For example, I went somewhere, then the money I brought was inefficient or not enough, then I will try to look in my bag. Then sometimes I find money there, and somehow it's not. It's like my friends will say, "Wow, kakuya, wow, amazing!" And like you are just mining money in your bag, because I'm like digging for money in my bag. Pero actually, the reason for that is because I break down, I separate the money, my money, I separate it, I put it in different places. It is hard for me to spend it all in one go. So that's what happens, no? Yes, for example, there's an event, then I really want to go. Then right now, if I look at my pocket, I don't have enough money, or I don't want to spend that money. So I will say, let me look for my bags. I might find random amounts there. So that's what happens.
Okay, so there are actually many tips on how to save money. So we will just summarize it. For those of you who are not yet married, for those of you who are still with their families, who are very independent, who are still helping their families, then these 7 tips are the things that you need to know. So these are the things that you need to avoid. Avoid when you are managing your money.
Finances.
Yes, the finances. First is, you have to avoid debt. Utang. As much as possible, do not indulge yourself in a debt or in an utang. Likayi, or you have really to avoid it. Set your mind that you will only spend the money na you already have it. The money that is in your pocket.
That's what you call living within your means.
Yes, living within your means. Thankfully, I really was able to survive. Okay? And then, I think it's just a matter of discipline, limitations, and control. Second is, you should always have your monthly budget. Okay? You should have, I'm not saying you should have a notebook, or you can use the notes in your phone, or whatever means that you can take note of all your income, of all your expenses, then by their monitor. In the month of January or in the month of March, how much should you spend? And make sure that you have a savings as well for emergency cases. Third is, you should avoid not having an emergency fund. Aside from saving, you should always have an emergency fund, because if you do not have an emergency fund, then the result would be you will get the money from your savings. And when an emergency would come, you already spent your savings, the result would be you have zero money in your bank, zero money on your cash box, zero money on your wallet. So and then in the long run, you will end up in an utang, in a debt, because you do not have an emergency fund.
So question.
Yes.
So maybe some of our viewers now while watching. So why do we have to make an emergency savings if we are already saving? What's the purpose of saving man if we have an emergency saving? Is it saving for emergency purpose? Oh, why?
Okay. Your savings is preparing for the future. It's preparing you for the future. Your emergency fund is preparing you for the things that are unexpected, like death of a family member, sickness of your family member, sickness of your loved one, those things that are unprecedented, you are prepared for that because of the emergency fund. And you will not touch the money intended for your future. Like, for example, you want to have your own house when you get married, you have to build your own business, or like you're saving for your own needs na in the future, then those things are, you will get those in your savings, not in your emergency fund. Okay, I think I answered the question. Okay, and then fourth one is you should have a side hustle. So like I shared, yes, side hustle. So like I shared.
Are you sure?
So like I shared earlier, that when I was still in college and when I was working already, I always make sure that I have a side hustle. I have a sideline. I have a mini business. I have another source of income, not just solely relying on my sweldo, on my salary. Yes, like paycheck to paycheck. I always make sure that I have another source of income, because those the money that I will get from that income, from that business, would be the things that I will spend for my laag, for the things that I need to buy, I want to buy, like clothes, new bags, new shoes. So that money I will get there for those expenses. So imagine if I have that side income, then I will be saving more. Diba? I will be saving more because supposedly if I allot money for the things that I want, like clothes, like new bags, or for the laag, then I will be adding it na lang to the savings that I am making. Okay, so I hope you get my points. And then fifth is, you should not be learning how to, you should avoid not learning how to take care of your money. Then make sure that you know how to manage, you know how to handle your money well. No, okay, there are like situations, or like there are other things in the internet that you could see na they won billions, they won millions in a lottery, but then they end up broke. Why? Because they did not manage their money well. So how small your income, even how small your income is, even how small your savings is, basta you know how to manage, you know how to take good care of the money that you have, then you will not be afraid of going bankrupt, going into debt, going into a very like struggling financial life. Okay, so next is sixth one is, if possible, secure your future and your loved ones. How are you going to secure? Health insurance and life insurance. If it is already, if your income can kaya it, how do you Tagalog that? If kaya ng income mo. Okay.
Your income allows it.
Yes, if
It
kaya
is
ng
within
income
the
mo,
budget,
then you should get a health and life insurance, because that would really help you in times of need, of an emergency. Aside of having an emergency fund, you also have that health and life insurance to support you. To support your families.
Pero I have a comment in that na, that's if it allows lang. Do not
Yes.
force yourself.
That's why
Don't
if
go
kaya,
hungry. Don't go hungry
for
for
the
insurance.
yes.
Okay.
Like for example, no, securing your future, securing your life, the life of your loved ones. But the ending is you are struggling every day.
Before deciding if you want insurance kay Kwan, see to it first that it
You
is
have
within
extra.
no, it is
Yes.
within your
Reach.
budget or reach. And it doesn't necessarily you don't necessarily need the highest insurance policy, no? You can actually get the lowest because again, what we're talking about is insuring your family for emergency cases. That, as we all know, insurance is really a lot of money. So we do advise for you guys to get insurance, but on your it depends on your budget lang jud.
Yes.
Don't force it. Don't force it nga. Look, they told us to get insurance, but I only have 3,000, and the insurance is 3,000 a month. So what will you use for your
Yes,
daily expenses? Right.
for the necessities, like for your food, where will you get the money? So don't tell me you will utang just to have the
No,
insurance.
so don't do that.
Yes, don't do that. You have to weigh things, okay? In dealing with money, you will really use your brain, your mind,
Because,
your heart.
there's what the point is, there's no one way of handling your expenses. Right? Like any other math problems, there are a lot of solutions to one problem.
Yes.
So the steps may differ, but the end goal is the same. So, for example, maybe
You have to choose the way that is less tricky.
maybe you want to have an insurance, but right now you can't afford. So find another way lang then do small steps, do baby steps until you get there. What's important is if you stumble in your finances, don't make it a reason nga you can't stand up anymore. So for example, those who are watching, and I hope those who are watching don't have utang, pero we can't really assure that, no. Maybe some of you has already utang. So maybe to start, find a way that you are able to pay everything.
You are debt free.
So that's where you start. You have to pay off lang sa all the debts or all the utang before you can actually start moving forward. What you have to escape the deadly loop there is you utang to pay another utang. That's what you really want to avoid.
Okay. So lastly is the very, very, very important thing is you have to invest in yourself. Why? Because in this world that is in a fast-changing world, in a world that is already leveling up everything, we have also to upskill ourselves. Upskill. We have to invest in trainings, workshop, learn something else. Like, since now we are already in the very, very digital age and we are already living with technology. So then, learn freelancing, like editing, making mga marketing materials, managing social media for other businesses, small businesses. So those are the things that you can upgrade and upscale yourself. Really invest in yourself because that is one thing that you can have a side hustle. You can have another sideline or another income. Okay, so do not forget to invest yourself because when everything fails, you only have yourself. Yes? And God. Yes, and God.
Pero in upskilling yourself, no, or investing in yourself, it doesn't mean raman it doesn't only mean you have to spend to learn. You have to learn good something. No? Sometimes investing in yourself means like traveling. Just remember nga, when you travel, find a travel spot where you can learn, where you can refresh yourself, and that is within your reach of budgets. And why do I say this? No, okay. Right now, people are actually really mentally weak, especially with the workload, with the how society treats work, how fast the society is changing. So a lot of us have it hard, no? Like for example, right now, maybe you graduated magna, summa, pero by the time that you enter the workforce, there will be a lot of things that you still need to learn. And this puts stress, mental stress, physical stress, and a lot of other stress. And one thing I can say about stress is always there. And no matter what kind of job you have, no matter what kind of life you have, no matter how much money you gain, stress is always there. So investing in yourself also means freeing up your mental stress. Okay, you can only perform at your optimal level or at your optimal performance if
You're at
you
your best
are
self.
at your best self. When you are at the least stress state that you are. So traveling can really help. Why? Nature helps relax the mind. No?
True. Super
Okay.
agree.
When you work in an office in a close area, na it gives you kuan man good kana like you only look at the walls, you can only see your workmates. But when you're traveling, it gives you like better perspective. Actually, there are even people no nga after traveling, when they go back to work, they are fully energized and they are equipped with more beautiful and functional like ideas. Because when they free up their mind, it opens up the possibilities. It opens up the thinking, no? So usa lang na, investing doesn't necessarily mean nga you have to join a seminar, you have to just upskill yourself, you have to join this and that. It might be taking a time away. It might be taking a mini vacation. It might be buying something that you want. But in those cases, you have to still consider that those things, as long as you think that there is a return, then it is worth it. Pero, if you are just using it, don't use it as a reason ba nga, I want to invest in myself, I want to travel. Pero what you want there is, kana walay return na ba, laag lang ka, it's because giagad ka sa imong mga kaila. Pero it's not within your budget, then don't do that. That's actually the opposite of what we're saying. No? So, katong lang. Invest in yourself if you have time. And how you invest it, it's up to you because in every situation, in every person's life, it's different. Okay, in ours, we try. Actually, I promised her, no, it's one of our agreements, I will find ways, at least a year, once a year or twice a year, okay, we can
will travel.
niya. Sadly, we were
It's
supposed
pandemic.
to travel man ta in
Singapore.
for a training man to.
Palawan.
Palawan. Pero because of the pandemic, it was cancelled. Pero we're still looking at it, no, how to do it.
Yeah. And then when I was still in the previous institution, no, like in my previous work, we were not yet married. I was still single. When I was at that moment, when I was in that stage, I already shared earlier, no, na I really allot money for travel. Like I allot 1,000 pesos per payday for my travel, and then I save for 6 months, and then the money that I will be saving together for the 6 months, then I will book a ticket and then I'll go to a place because that's the time that I can unwind, I can distress, I can think, and most importantly, I would learn the culture. I would meet other people. I can connect with other people. I can extend my horizon. I can extend my connections. So that's one thing. Traveling is a therapy actually for some or for most.
Yeah, because when I was still we were not yet married, no, I am not that fan. I'm not that fond of traveling because it's very expensive. Yeah, the only time that for example, my getaway is lang because I don't like to spend money. I don't want to spend my own money. So, like, if libre, okay ra. Pero if ako, no, na lang. So, I prefer to stay in my room, and since I'm the type na I'm already happy playing with the computer. So, in my case, how I invest on myself is buying the computer.
Gadgets.
Yeah, gadgets. Pero those gadgets I can actually use. Dili lang kayo, palit ko kayo. So yeah. Kaya I have this tendency, yes, maabot gyapon ko from time to time na masuya na like, look, ganahan ko mo palit og drone. For example, drone. I really wanted to buy a drone. Pero so I save up to buy a drone. But when the time comes nga, I have enough money to buy a drone, I will think, man, good nga, if I will buy this drone, what will I do with it? Can I really use it? When will the next model come? Since, for example, nipalit, the drone I'm going to buy is the version 3. Then I save up for it for like a few months. Then, as you know, technologies and the next upgrades comes very fast. So, I have this fear na if I buy it, because I actually tried it already, I bought a 30,000 peso phone, and 1 month later, the new model came out and it's already 33,000. So, it's really a waste of money. I should have waited 1 month or 3 months na lang to save up for the newer model. So that's one of my fear, no? Nga if I buy something like a gadget, I want it to last long. So the way I invest in myself for me lang is buying a computer because I play on it, I can do stuff with it. Pero yes, I'm a big spender in those stuff. Pero I make sure to it that the lifespan of that device is at least 5 years, 7 years. Actually, the computer that I bought 2012 is still being used by Maddie right now. So, it's like that ba? You can actually spend big as long as the time span and the usage is worth it. I don't recommend buying a laptop that is worth something like this. Yeah. Next month kay naibag-o, then dili na day nimo magamit kay feel nimo bati na kay karaan. That's something to consider when you are trying to buy something or buying something as an investment for yourself.
Okay, so last question. As a married couple, do you put all your savings solely in one bank? When we got married, we have 3 accounts. Personal, and the joint savings. So personal, he has an account.
It's 3 because I have mine, she has her own, then we have a joint.
Joint, yes. I have my personal bank account wherein all the income from the mini businesses, all the like allowances that we get every month it will go to my personal savings and also his personal savings. And how we manage our money is we always allot a savings, no, like our total income, we always allot savings, we put it in a joint account, and then we will just give ourselves an allowance. So with that allowance, we will work from it, like we will get all the needs and the wants from that very very little allowance. So it's not depriving ourselves, but somehow it is controlling and limiting ourselves because we still have plans and dreams, right?
Actually, the way we save as a married couple is a combination of what we just told you earlier, the save first and the
Then
spend.
spend.
Yes, because what we do is we her allowance and my allowance and any other income that is supposed to be like shared, no? We add it up. So we have this bulk of money every month. Then we
Yes.
break down for savings, breakdown.
Yeah,
with
so we have
minus
this.
savings. Yeah.
We make use of this wallet, and then there we put like
Yeah,
everything.
so for example, we have this bulk of
So
money.
we have the insurance. Yes.
Ipakita. Yeah. We have this bulk of money. Yeah. So one minus the savings, then some other amount which is calculated. So we'll go to the insurance, we'll go to the school expenses, the emergency savings, the insurance for because we have two insurances.
Your insurance,
mine and
your
hers.
insurance.
Yes.
This is
And mama's insurance, then
the
grocery.
grocery.
Something like that.
So we have grocery, and we have another for the gifts. We are actually saving for the gifts.
Gifts.
Yeah, healthcare.
So medical
And
travel.
So we have two.
Yeah, and aside from that, we still have other breakdown na wala na apple there. So, no. So, once upon deducting everything, every expenses, okay, kung what's left will become our allowance.
Yes, we
The minute good. The amount left will be our allowance. Which is
And we always make a tally of everything. Like a tally of everything. It is being monitored and listed in this notebook. Everything. Kaya
So-
sometimes magud he will ask na, where is this money? How did you spend it? Where is this income?
good.
No, he's a kind magud na if he, like, for example, no, na he is disoriented already if like, where did this go? Why is this like this na lang? Why is this and that? So I have the list of everything, like mga kuan, it went to this, to that, to that, to that.
Because if she's the type to list, I am not the type to list. I am more on like gut feeling. Okay, for example, I have this amount to, like, in a month I have 10,000. Yeah. I receive 10,000 every month. Yeah. I only spend those 10,000. Yeah. If any sobra or any excess of the 10,000, I am going to use it next month. And the next month, 10,000, I'm going to save it. I'm like that. So I do not keep track of the expenses. So from time to time, I will become disoriented because I still have that mindset now. Oh, we are receiving this money. Yeah. Usually, this is how we spend that. How come this month we don't have money anymore? Where did it go? Yeah.
So kana siya, sometimes magud kay, di ba no, when you get married, always magud the wife is the accountant, no?
It depends.
Why?
It depends on the couple.
Yeah, it depends on the couple, but mostly the wife really is the accountant, di ba?
In our case, it's her that is the accountant. Why? Because I am not practicing my listing noon. Yeah. Tendencies, what will happen is kanang malimot ko lista. Yeah. Since she is already practicing it, then why not? Then also as a husband, kay I want her man sad nga to know unsa jud ang expenses. Okay, I don't want to the point na I don't want it nga siya mangutanan ako unsa may gigasto ani, unsa may gigasto. I want her to have all the money, then I will just receive the allowance na lang. Okay.
Our allowance.
The allowance na di.
And then every month I keep on updating him na love, this is already what's inside our joint account, and then this is our savings for this koan. Lately, last year we spent a lot. A lot, no, more than what we spent for the previous month. So that's why I told him na we have to control our expenses for the next month. So I will deduct from the gasoline, I will deduct from your load allowance, I will deduct from the personal expenses. So kana siya, we just talk, and then sometimes I get irritated kay sometimes I feel na he is,
Doubting.
yes, he is doubting on how I manage money, so that's why ikaw
That's-
na lang magkwenta.
That's not the case. You know
Yeah, but
that.
I understand. He is just like disoriented, or like he
Okay.
just wanted to know the cash in and cash out.
Okay, what I fear mga is like the income that I have is kulang na ba? More. That's why I asked.
Oh, and then very very last thing.
Okay.
What we do with our savings, we always find a way that we can invest it. Na matuyok siya, na we can make it like, saan na siya?
Grow.
Kanang,
Cash flow.
it will grow ba? It will grow.
We
Na
are
it will
trying-
not
no.
just stand by in the bank.
What we are trying to establish is cash flow.
Yeah, the cash flow.
Cash flow. So for us, for me, the definition of cash flow is like your money is moving even if you are doing nothing. Like we want, that's the end goal man dyan, no? Like we want our money will keep on growing, bisang nag-relax na ka, diba? So that's the end goal. Pero of course, you can't reach there if wala sa kay gibuhat right now.
Yeah.
So mo pa na, we are like somewhat in a term incubating pa ba?
So, and then right now, we are also finding ways on how we can circulate the money from our personal savings. So, I started a jewelry business and I let him invest. And that will go in sa among personal money, not with the joint savings. Kaya again, no, we only receive a very, very little amount of allowance from the total income that we have. So, sometimes, our mindset is, ay, kapobre na to, oy, like, broke kay taron. Like, that is always our mindset na, wala na ko'y kwarta, I don't have money anymore,
Usay guys.
So,
Guys,
we always kanang, sometimes we live like, very, very broke.
sometimes when we go to the mall,
Yeah.
like, we look at each other and wait for who's going
To pay. Because we don't want to spend the money in our joint account. So we will spend it from our personal money, from our personal income. So that's why we are making a way on how
Yeah.
to
So, sometimes
to make it grow on our personal savings. So
Sometimes we go in the mall, then we're really hungry, no? So, the one who is going to ask, "Now, let's eat." So, for example, I will say, let's eat. Yeah. She will ask, asam taka? Where are we going to eat? Then later, diri lang. Libre ni mo. Then I will say, uli na lang to.
or sometimes
sa balikaon. Something
okay,
like that.
and then pero if someone has like naka-income or like naka-ginansya from a sideline, then we will treat each other.
She will treat me because I have no sideline from her. I am fond of investing.
Yeah, so
Then
sometimes
this
we
is
keep
my
on
greatest investment.
Sure. So sometimes like we keep on telling ourselves mostly siya maingon nga, uy, pa-invest ko diha bi sa imong sa imong gi-start na business, like sama dingan na ba niya. Sometimes pud, uy, pwede ko mo-invest ana. So he is kuan pod, I always ask him for financial advice.
Then I also,
lang.
for me, sometimes I also save my money man. Sometimes she wants to venture in something man. Her fear is that basing mo palpak, basing wala ni return or like go lang pa ko kwarta. Sometimes I use the money that I have to give it to her.
Oh. Okay, and then tips to all the wives out there, no, be transparent with your husband good when it comes to the money, like saan patungo.
Yeah, tips to all the husband out there. A happy wife is a happy life.
Yes.
Actually, from time to time, sometimes I can see her baka she's going to use her own money for like beauty expenses, personal needs. I told her na, in our savings account, I'll give you an
Portion.
amount na imuha jud na siya nga kuan like how much was that? Basta,
11K.
under siya sa category na
Personal
needs.
Pero I always do a breakdown of it. So like if I don't have like something na paliton under personal needs, then it will not be spent. But if I have, then I always list the breakdown like 1,500 for this, 1,000 for this, like that.
We cannot
And then that 11,000 is under our category of adjustable because we have categorized our money. The fixed liabilities and savings. Second is the adjustable expenses. And the third is other expenses. The other expenses are the expenses na unprecedented. So like for example, we went to the mall and then we need this blah 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 blah. So we will get the money from our joint na lang because nobody will make libre. Nobody will make libre. So it's like that.
So as husbands, okay, you want your wife to be happy man sa niya. You don't want them to like ma-restrict sila ba. So muna I decided na aside from her allowance kay napod siya madawat like kanang magasto niya for her. Okay, females ba they have a lot of like pangarti. Yeah, I don't want my wife will like di na lang nako alagaan akong self kay busy na.
But sometimes I really do not
pero
ask.
I'm just thankful
money,
no.
Jud.
Yeah. I know you did not ask pero it's my way man good. I'll give this to you.
I spent for my nails.
Mo gani. Pero I'm giving you that money gani kay para lang you have that ba na you have something you spend for yourself. Kay I want it ganahan ko ana. And I'm just thankful sad enough na I have this kind of wife na bisan pag di mo ignan ba nga i-liquidate na ha. Kasi yan na mismo mo liquidate niya. Even though I already told her nga, this is her money na, she will still tell me man good nga. I spend this. The only thing she doesn't tell me nga, kuha ka is like, mupalit na siya mga bags. Like, mahal siya kayo sana.
Guilty.
Daghan na mo kayo siya bags. That's the reason why I told her na, if you want to buy a
Bags
bag,
and shoes.
or if you want to buy a bag, find a way na you can make money out of it kay dili ko mo kontra na pero if mo pahit lakag bag niya like kasaran mo gamiton wala na gamit after
How can you make money from a bag?
example designer bag collectibles katong ingon ba kay she has this dream man good guys she has this dream na she wants to buy a designer bag that costs hundreds of thousands I told her nga right now, don't save for it. Make it a motivation. You will buy it once your business na is able to generate enough money na dili ka magsakit to buy that bag.
Okay.
Something like that, no? So, in due time we will get there. All of us will get there. Just remember guys na your financial status right now will not be your final status
in the future.
You have these opportunities. You just have to look high and low for what you have to do and what you need to do. Okay. Again, we may be talking about tips, but this is in our perspective. It's not in your situation. Some of the things we might say or maybe all magani will not apply to you. But I assure you, in your situation, there is something you can do to raise your financial awareness, your financial literacy, your financial status. Also, I have last tip. Koan, if you are actually like, if you have friends who are well off, no, and you are not, do not look down on yourself. Each of us has a different timeline in life. It may be their time right now and your time has yet to come. No? Do not take it good nga ako yung pugson nga mugasto ko kay para makasabay ko sa akong mga friends. No. If you have to miss a lot of laags just to improve yourself, missed it. Okay. Bahala na ng laag diha basta imuhang future secured.
Yes.
O nya na ng mga laag nimo kay yes, you have different circumstances of your friends, magod. Maybe they have this opportunity nga or they are in a situation nga they can afford to laag. Pero if ikaw, you are hustling hard, you want to gain, and you know that your situation is not as good as theirs, it's not a problem, it's not a bad thing to miss out on
Hustle hard. Hustle
As
hard.
they say, real friends, even if dili mo magkita, even if wala mo yung magtagad mo, sabot na sila nimo if you are trying to build your future.
Yes.
So, for those who are stuck in that kind of situation, know nga, your situation is your priority. Do not care nga.
Do not get pressured by peer pressure.
Ayaw dyan mo padalaan na kanang kalain ni mo, wala naman kay kuyog-kuyog. As your friends, they should understand na you are trying to build your future.
If there's an opportunity na you can lie low for a while or detach from those groups or detach from people
if
that are giving
necessary,
you pressures, are giving you like those mindset na I have to do this already, like mindset of comparing yourself to others, then detach yourself, prioritize your mental health and prioritize your goals for the future.
The generations now, peer pressure is a real thing. Like, even though dili pa nila kaya, they try to show off. They forget ba nga, those kinds of friends or the family that or the environment that person grew up is different from theirs. Mapugos bitaw sila nga, kailangan jud ko mo sabay ani nila. Pero true friends will understand. I'm not saying di na ka magkig-amigo nila. But true friends will understand nga, this is your standing in life. It's okay nga you cannot join us right now because you are building your future. That's how friends should be.
Yes.
As ikaw, as you are trying to build yourself, do not put yourself down. Ito ba? Okay. Wala, nakakaapil-apil.
Do not get discouraged or unmotivated with life.
Just keep the mindset nga na I have to work hard right now so I can live leisurely later. Or if dili man gani ikaw, your family can live leisurely later. Okay? So ano?
Okay. So to wrap up everything, thank you so much to all of you who are listening and keep on supporting us.
Yeah,
we have already reached 1.2 subscribers. Ay, bali. 1.2 subscribers. So thank you so much that you have supported us along the way. And hopefully those tips have given you an inspiration, have given you the knowledge that you need.
We hope that you learned something from us from watching this video, and if ever that you learned something, please share it to your friends and
comment down below.
And don't forget to
like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Comment below what you have learned and what knowledge that you get from this video. Adios. Bye. Hi, lovies.